The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
There were two yeshiva bachrim in their 20s, I think, that decided to take a trip to Tzfas. Again, we conclude with a story about Tzfas. They lived in Yerushalayim, and they decided the Shabbos after Shavuos, actually, to take a trip to Tzfas. And they were planning on staying somewhere. They had a place to stay, and they were going to have an amazing Shabbos. They get on the bus to Tzfas. The story happened a while ago, before cell phones, and before actually the road that goes to Tzfas right now. And everything is going well. They say Tfilas HaDerech. And right when they get to the area of Chanyon Tzipori, part of the way up, Derech HaBika, all of a sudden, the bus stops. Everyone looks to see what's happening. Bus driver turns off the bus. The road is sealed by police. Someone gets out, talks to the police, and the police say, yeah, there's some kind of national figure who passed away, and there's going to be a very large funeral procession. You have to wait till the procession is over. Is there another way to go? No. This is pre-Waze. They sit there and they wait. And the minutes are ticking, and the minutes turn into hours, and these yeshiva bachrim are sweating, not just physically, but spiritually. What's going to be with Shabbos? We're definitely not going to make it to Tzfas. Where are we going? What do we do? We're in the middle of nowhere. Eventually, the road opens, and the driver floors it, and he can't make it to Tzfas. The closest he can make it is to Tveria. Not so far away, but the boys got off. They did not want to take a chance, a risk of going to Tzfas. They get off in the middle of Tveria. They have no idea where they are. They're not in the Frum community. They're not in the religious part of Tzfas, of Tveria, and they're lost. And they're literally standing there looking for a taxi, and a taxi comes screeching to a halt. And there's a couple in the taxi, and the couple says to them, can we help you? They said, yeah, we're looking for the religious community in Tveria. Where is it? And the couple said, Bobo, come in, we'll take you there. And the taxi driver, not sure, eventually takes them to Shikun Dalet, to the area in Tveria where there's a religious community. By the time they get there, there's about 10 minutes left to Shkia, 10 minutes left to sunset. He drops them off at the side of the road. The couple pays for it. They said, it looks like two Talmidei Chachamim need a thing, we're happy to take you. And they're standing there. What do you do? And they notice that there's Ner Shabbos burning in the windows of one of the apartments nearby. What do? They come with their two little suitcases. They knock on the door. And a gentleman comes to the door. And they say to him, listen, could we leave our muktzah objects, our wallets and our watches and whatever it is that we don't want to have out with us, could we just leave them for you for Shabbos? And the fellow says to them, why do you have to leave them with us? Where are you staying? They said, it's not important, don't worry about it. Just, if we could leave them with you for safekeeping, and then we'll find a Beit Knesset. He says, Efa atam l'Shabbat? Where are you for Shabbat? He said, listen, we were supposed to be in Tzfas, but the bus, he goes, Baruchim habayim, tikansu, come on in. You have the right address. So happy to have you for Shabbat. He goes running to his wife and he says to his wife, come, we have guests for Shabbos. Let's make sure we set up the guest room for them. Amazing. We're so excited to have you. And he says to them, you are our guests for eating the Shabbos as well. Don't let anyone in Shul try to hijack you and invite you for a meal. You're our personal guests. And I'll explain to you on the walk to Shul why you must be our personal guests. They can't believe this. It's amazing. They found the right guy. And he puts them into a room, a wonderful guy with a big yarmulke and a sweet, wonderful fellow. And they begin to walk to Shul. And he says to them, Tishma'u Tov, listen carefully. So I want to share with you guys something. Me and my wife were in Ukraine this past week. We went to Kivrei Tzaddik and we went to many of the holy sites and the holy graves. And we were supposed to come back last night. And our flight was delayed until this morning. And we have children. Our children were waiting to be with us for Shabbos and everything. We had no idea what time we would make it back. So we decided, we made a phone call. We farmed out all our children. They're going to cousins and uncles and aunts. We're home alone for Shabbos, actually. Our little kid is home because he came home. But everyone, we're home alone for Shabbos. So we came straight from the airport and we went to a takeout place to buy food for Shabbos. And we bought food for Shabbos from the takeout place. But when we came home, we realized that our siblings and our in-laws had all prepared a beautiful Shabbos for us. We came into the apartment and the entire Shabbos was prepared. So we had not just the Shabbos they prepared for the two of us, there was Shabbos for two more people, the stuff that we bought. Perfect! We have an amazing Shabbos. 4 people and enough food for 4 people. So you better not go to anybody else. Okay, they said. And thus began one of their most beautiful Shabboses they ever had. This fellow was such a sweet guy. The meals were replete with gorgeous Divrei Torah songs and stories, and he introduced them to people in the community. And true to his word, so many people invited them, including the Rav, who they actually went there for Shabbos lunch. He felt he had to let them go. And they had the most magnificent and amazing Shabbos. Totally. The bus leaves them off in a random place. A random taxi of 2 wonderful people felt these people probably need a place for Shabbos, drops them off somewhere. And they have the most remarkable and amazing Shabbos. But that's not the end of the story. Because you see, not that long later, one of the yeshiva bachrim, whose name is David actually, was on his way back to Tzfas. To Tveria. But this time, it was for something else. It was to celebrate his engagement to the daughter of the fellow that they stayed at. This boy found such favor in his eyes. He had a daughter. He got somebody who knew them both. The shidduch was made. The l'chaim was drunk. And the two of them got engaged to one another. Ushmartem esa Shabbos. Shabbos is something that unites all of Klal Yisrael. But there's one more caveat, little tiny detail to the story. Because I don't know if you know, but remember we said 2 Bachrim went. Well, on the way to the Vart, one Bachar said to the other Bachar, he says, I want you to know something. That I know you've been in Shidduchim, I knew you were struggling to find the right girl, and I accepted about myself to study 2 halachas of Shmir Lashon, 2 halachas about being careful what we say, about safeguarding our speech, in your merit. He says, I want you to know something. That Shabbos, I decided to do it for 40 days. That Shabbos was day number 40. Ushmartem. One person cares about another person's shidduch, and then 2 more people care about another person's Shmir Shabbos, and look, a beautiful Jewish home is built through that. Oisi beini ubein b'nei Yisrael. Between me and Klal Yisrael, Shabbos is a sign. And when a person is connected to Rebbe Shalom, amazing things happen. A couple gets together, which has more hashras hashchina. Our connection to Hashem is increased. Our opportunity for ruchnius and spirituality is compounded.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org